What's good with it? Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate all the support, man. Thank you. So let's talk hot topics, right? Let's talk about, and I said really, let's talk about Dubs. Did Dubs fool us all? Did Dubs really fool everybody? Well, I don't know, man. You know, that's up to your interpretation and the way you perceive things. You know, I myself don't feel fooled at all because, first of all, I'm not a fool. See, when I meet people, I don't judge them on their past, what they're going to do tomorrow, what they did yesterday. None of that matters to me. All that matters is in my presence, how they treat me, if they give me the same respect I give them, and if I could deem them a trustworthy person based upon my interactions. You know, the content of their character. You hear it? It's not cliche. It's for reals, man. You got to support those who support you. You got to show love to those who show love to you, man. You got to be a real one. That's part of being a real one. Not going to prison, stabbing people for people you don't know, doing fucking interactions on the yard, giving people dope that you know is hot so they OD. All these different things that people feel make you a cool guy or a good guy aren't always what you think they are, right? Sometimes, man, you're being manipulated without even realizing it. But that's on you. Now, let me talk about Dubs. I've seen several videos being made just in the last couple of days, and I kind of eased off the pedal. I thought the topic was dying down. I thought it wasn't a big deal. I don't see it as a big deal. I mean, you know what? So what of what Dubs' status is right now? I know what his status is at this moment. He's probably either gaming or eating a big-ass torta, right? That's what he's probably doing at this point, man. He's not, you know, in the gang lifestyle. He's not gang banging. He's not kicking it with the homies. He's not in a garage smoking scante. He's not telling war stories to some dudes and fucking manipulating. He's not doing any of that. He's probably just chilling. In fact, that's more than likely what he's doing. Now, I myself, when I think about Dubs, this whole Get Down, his channel, I respect the fact that he's trying to help people to get some understanding into what it is to be a lifer, to understand what it is to having thought at one point in time, man, I'm never coming home. This is my life. You know, and when people are incarcerated, people like Dubs, myself, I did it on the installment plan. I couldn't hold a candle to his wax, man. It's a whole different thing, right? But when people like that are lifers, and I got several homeboys that are lifers or were lifers, I could say straight up in brutal honesty, you know, that right there is something not a lot of people probably could bear. To think in your lifestyle, you're never, ever coming home. You know, you took another person's life or did whatever you did to get yourself in that situation, and you're never, ever coming home. It's pretty ridiculous, huh? But with that being said, Dubs still seems to be the hot topic. Dubs still seems to be the reason certain individuals wake up in the morning and start puffing their chests. It's a trip, man. You know, I consider Dubs a good friend. Not just a friend, but a good friend. Someone who, you know, if I ask if I need help, he's going to help me. You know, he's never denied anyone. And that right there, man, means the world to me. And it should mean a lot to other people because we've seen it time and time again. You know, posting people's GoFundMes, helping people, going above and beyond and doing things he doesn't have to do. There's not a lot of content creators on YouTube that are willing to go above and beyond or do anything, period, to help anyone. You know, plenty of times in the past, I myself have helped people. Got my whole hand spit in. Got a whole handful of babas. Ugly situations, right? But I kept it pushing. Dubs keeps it pushing, man. We got a lot in common when it comes to the understanding that, hey, we're going to continue to help those that we can help, even those that don't want to help themselves. But at the end of the day, man, we are going to lean back a little bit when it comes to, you know, those that try to manipulate and just get over, because that ain't a good look. Now, I'll say this. I seen a couple videos made on Dubs' prison status. Was he active? Was Dubs really in the mix? Well, according to those who have put out videos, you know, they're not going to talk about the past when he was in the mix, when he was doing what he did, right? They're only going to talk about how it all ended up, or what they assume of how it all ended up. Now, Dubs has never given a definitive answer. He's never said whether he is active, whether he is non-active, whether he is a gangster, whether he's a dropout, whether he still reps, whether he doesn't, whether he's retired. See, all those options are on the table. They've always been on the table. They're on the table for everybody. You know, when I first came out, I didn't want anyone to think anything different of me at all. I didn't want anyone to assume, because I knew and I understood that if people start to assume later on in life, they're going to blame you for their own fucking misconceptions or their own misperception. You know, there's a lot of people that assume, hey, man, you see a Southsider on YouTube, he's got to be a good camarada. He's got to be a good active dude. You know, there's a lot they see a Norteño on YouTube and they're like, ah, man, he's got to be all bad. Ah, he's got to be a dropout. It's that North and South stuff. It's that gangbanging mentality. I see it over and over and over again. And it could go vice versa. Some guys see Southerners and they're like, they're not supposed to be on camera. They're not supposed to be doing that. They must be all bad. Okay, but they're still tuned in. They're still watching him. They still want to hear everything he has to say. They still enjoy the war stories. They still enjoy, you know, the prison stories. Now, when Dubs first came out, I'm not dumb. I've never been a fool. I've never been a dumb person. I've never been a person that's easily manipulated. I automatically assumed, just like anyone else, AK, I said AK, not okay. AK, here's a content creator on YouTube who I could identify with. Someone who's actually been in prison, someone who claims to be a lifer, someone who's been in some of the most hardest penitentiaries in the world, like Pelican Bay, New Folsom, DVI, San Quentin. A lot of these different prisons that people have no understanding of what it takes to even be there, whether you're active or non-active. Them motherfucking places are very dangerous, especially in the state of California. Going to prison, it's a dangerous situation, right? So when I seen that, my first question wasn't, is this Vato active? Is he still in the mix? Is he still a cool guy? I didn't care about any of that, because at the same time, first and foremost, I wasn't living that life. And I just wanted to hear about change. I wanted to see how this man changed. I wanted to see how he went from being in some of the worst prisons ever until going out to the streets, being a productive member of society, getting a job, doing what he does, right? Now, he started his content creation based on it was therapeutic for him. This is the story he's told me. I'm giving you guys some background, right? When we finally got in contact and in communication, I asked him, hey, why'd you start your channel, bro? What was it for money? Was it? He didn't even know. Dubs did not even know that you can make good money on YouTube. I hipped him to the game. I put him up on game on how much you can make if you dedicate yourself, stay consistent, put out good fucking content, good thumbnails, all that. Dubs started from the bottom and now he's here. And what comes with being here? A lot of hatred, a lot of trolls, a lot of manipulation, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of people that will tell you one thing and then do another. It's fucking pretty crazy, right? I've been dealing with it for over 5 years. Dubs has been dealing with it now with probably the last couple of years. It's crazy because when I wake up in the morning, I think, okay, how many videos have been made about myself? How many videos have been made about Dubs? Usually I don't watch the videos. I don't care to give these guys a view because I already know their mind is set in stone. They already don't care. They're going to be what they're going to be and they're going to say what they're going to say and you can't change their mind. And we're not trying. We're just going to continue to do our content. But I see a lot of guys that have done content with Dubs in the past, have had interaction, have had phone calls, have met up in real life, all have something to say about Dubs. Yeah, he is the hot topic right now. Yes, man, he is the talk of the town. Everybody's talking about his status like it means something. But what happens tomorrow? What happens tomorrow if you find out Dub's status, if he's still active or he's non-active? Is that going to make you as a grown man not listen to his stories? Is that going to make you as a grown man judge him because of how his career ended up? It's not going to do me because, see, I'm pretty content with life. I understand the only thing that makes an impact in my life is myself and the decisions I make. You know, there's a lot of people sitting down right now doing life. A lot. Tell these guys to do a story about this. There's a lot of, but a lot of them can't because they've never done life. But there's a lot of guys that are sitting down doing life that wish they were in your position or in my position right now and would do anything. I mean, anything. Slow motion to get there, right? You know, if a man's been down 25 plus years, and that's pretty much a life term. That's the good chunk, the meat, the carne of your life, right? If a man's been down that long and he's given an opportunity, here, take these classes. Don't get no write-ups. Stay away from these gang members on the yard. You do this, you do that, you might have action at getting out. What do you think they're going to do? Oh, I already know. The real ones, right, are going to continue to kill people on behalf of what who they're killing for. The real ones are going to go out there and do dope on the yard and have your old lady bring dope in for them. The real ones are going to be the ones running around judging other people. Those are the real ones, or those are what people consider the real ones. Now, to me, the real ones are going to take those classes, stay the fuck away from the gang members because they already understand what got them there in the situation in the first place, and get the hell on out. Now, there's this big old thing, and all this drama started over one individual who's now in the feds, man, and I wish him safe passage, and I hope, you know, he gets everything that he's got coming in life. He's made his decisions. He's going to rest his head on that rock and lay on that motherfucker and make it comfortable. I get it. I respect it, right? Do I agree with it? No. But do I respect it? Absolutely. Because not everyone has a different life to lead. Everyone makes certain dedications and they stick with it, and some don't. But that doesn't mean that man or you or myself or anyone else like Dubs is any less of a man because we haven't made the decisions to keep killing. You know, after you catch a body, after you're convicted of murder, after you get a certain amount of time, man, it does make you think. You might not tell anyone because you got to show that face, right? But you think when you're in that cell alone, you're like, damn, bro, if I'd have just not went to that party that night. Damn, man, if I would have just got a mamon instead of blowing her back out. Damn, homie, if I would have fucking never went to the park with the homies that night. There's a lot of what ifs. Well, that's up to you on how you're going to live your life from that point on. Now, with this whole bullshit, I know you guys want to hear the drama. You know, there was a video made by a guy named Chill, 16 to life. Shout out to Chill, man. I seen the video. It's cool, man. I get it, man. Chill felt disrespected and he felt he had to clap back. He felt he had to make a video, you know, basically putting a blanket statement out there saying, hey, this is what Dubs told me and this is what I'm going to say. And I understand, man, you're getting views. Cool, man. Hopefully that helps your channel get a little boost because you really need it, bro. And I'm going to be honest with you. The way that you tongue twisted it and made it seem was far-fetched and far from the truth as far as our interactions on the phone, yours and Dub's interaction on the phone. You know, this guy Chill put it out there and he felt disrespected. And he felt because we were faded and we were talking a little shit, man, because people were manipulating. There was people talking shit. We thought he was really going in. So we jumped the gun on it and we apologized like real men are supposed to do. But that didn't stop him from spinning his narrative and doing what he does because he felt so disrespected. Okay? Men get disrespected all the time. Men disrespect other men all the time. This ain't the first time nor the last time. But I'll explain this to you. When we did have that phone call, okay? The way it went was Chill's not lying when he says that I was trying to get him with some interaction with him and Dubs because there was a heated debate over the black and brown issue. That's when everybody was going in on Dubs about, oh, we think he's racist because some black guy got some fucking jammed up on the yard by a Southsider over a water fountain, whatever, right? Chill did his little video and Dubs did his video, but you got to understand, now when we all do these videos, some people are right there when the incident takes place. They're there. They're on that yard. They're giving you a first-hand account of what happened. And then there's others that won't agree with that man's first-hand account because they feel it doesn't fit their spin or what they got to say. You know, everybody wants to play tough guy. Everybody wants to be the cool guy. Nobody wants to see them or their people take a L. But it happens. It happens all the time. Chill knows it. I know it. We all know it. Our groups aren't always the hardest motherfuckers on the yard. Sometimes, you know, that person, right, shows fucking some cowardice and he gets dealt with swiftly. And that happens with blacks and browns, south, north, all that's the way it goes down. Anyways, he felt Dubs was making the blacks look bad in that video. that was furthest from the truth. It was just a straight up story about how it went down. And in the end, it got co-signed by a SEAL that was actually there. A black SEAL of all people, right? But Chill still felt this certain way. So the way he put it out there, it wasn't Chill that was disrespecting. It was other people in his chat, his supporters that were trying to twist it. So somewhere along the line, man, I felt it was necessary that these guys got in contact. And Chill reached out to me on a video that I did. And we cleared the airwaves, and it was all love, man, and respect. And I've never hated Chill whatsoever, man. 16 to life, I've always supported his channel. Like I say, he's very unbiased for the most part, right? Until recently. But I understand, you know, when you're mad, you're mad. You know, you can't let emotions dictate your program, but it happens all the time. So just like emotions dictated our program on the live, it dictated his the other day. We all lose, right? Black and brown division. But he got a hold of me. I mentioned, hey, you should talk to Dubs. You guys just get it off your chest straight up. You know, Dubs was willing to do it. He had told me, yeah, if you can get a hold of him, yeah. And Chill was on his way to a birthday party, so he didn't have the time. But it wasn't like, oh, no, I'm going to do it like this or do it like that. No. Chill said, hey, I can't do it right now, bro. I'm on my way to a birthday party. I said, yeah, good. Tomorrow. He's like, yeah, tomorrow. Around this time, we'll tap in. It happened. We all tapped in. They had their conversation. Okay? Nobody was punking nobody. Nobody was deboing anybody. Did a couple of topics of discussion come up? And you got to remember, during this conversation, I kind of just played devil's advocate. I was in the cuts, man. You know, I was letting these two men talk. It was just a three-way phone call through me. But nobody was punking no one, and no crazy shit was coming out. It was kind of just like, you know that I know that you know, back and forth. And that was it. And it ended on a good note. It ended with respect. So I don't understand how that, and I said it. When I said, yeah, there was you know, nobody was acting all tough because people were like, oh, Chill saying this, and that. And I was like, nah, wasn't no one acting tough on that phone. Chill definitely wasn't acting tough. Neither was Dubs, and nor was myself. It was just three men having a grown conversation about the politics of the content creation and prison and all that. And we kept it pushing. Anyways, Chill does this video, man. And this video that's blowing up right now that everyone's talking about is Dubs told Chill that he was on an SNY yard and this and that. Now, I never heard that conversation. If they did have that conversation, I wasn't privy to it. Because Dubs has never told me that. Dubs has told me, personally, myself, you know, that he's just doing his thing as a lifer. He's just trying to fucking, you know, he got out of prison. He's just trying to stay out of prison. And I never judge a man on their status, or who am I to do that? I'm no good in the eyes of the gang. I did red on red, man. I'm all bad. Did I debrief? Fuck no. Did I fucking testify on a whole bunch of people? Fuck no. So you don't understand. And it was crazy, you know, Two Scoops, when he did his little video and he was like, man, all them dudes are debriefers. All them dudes have to tell to get over there on the other side. That's not the truth. That's not the truth, man. If you're removed, you ain't got to tell no one. They're not going to put you on the back on the yard because of your safety and security. They already know. The cops already know. You can't go back. It's all bad, right? You know, if you fall off in the cop car and you're all bad right from the gate, how the fuck do you debrief if you don't know shit yet? And they're on the SNY yards, 50-50 yards. You know, it's just, there's a lot of manipulation and propaganda that goes into, and I understand, man, you know, to keep the active gang members super active, it's like you tell them they're just straight up pieces of shit, that this is what these guys are. But man, there's some killers and some hitters on them SNY yards. Motherfuckers better watch out. Right? There's a lot of dudes that were somebody at some point in time. Are there dudes that debriefed and told? Yes, there are. But how does that affect the streets? How does that gang status affect the streets? If you're just taking care of your family, I know a lot of dudes that are still in good standings. Trip out on this. They're still in good standings. They're still gang members, right? They're still cool. And these gentlemen are, I guess what you would call retired. They're taking care of their family. They're working a job. You know, they still go to the little fucking barbecue or to the hood every once in a while, this and that. But they're not living that gang lifestyle. They're not out there every night kicking with the homies, shooting people, doing all that. What do you consider them? Do you consider they dropped out? Do you consider them non-active? They're not going to ever put in no work. They'll tell you, Charlie, homie, I got to take my fucking kid to the Easter egg hunt, homie. I can't get down. What do you consider them? Right? This is not in defense of SNY or dropout. I could care less about all that bullshit because it doesn't affect my daily life. When I walk into a bank, they don't give a fuck if I was SNY or active or fucking GP or PC or any of that. All they want to know is if I got any fucking money there and what's the business I have there. That's all that matters in life. What business do you have here? So I understand Chill's video, man. It's like, you know what? I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to do my thing. More power to him. I hope he got what he was searching for, right? I've seen other content creators talking shit. Now everybody wants to go and they just want to just talk shit about that. But a lot of these guys that are talking shit were on the SNY yards themselves or never been in a situation where they ever had to face life in prison or kill someone or be killed. A lot of these guys are just talking shit because they want to cause disruption and make noise. It's white noise, man. They want to make noise because now it's Dub's turn and they don't like him. But all this shit's going to blow over. You know, Dubs did a video. That's why I'm doing this one. And Dubs pretty much let you know what time it was with him. Okay? I don't care. Look at myself personally. I don't care if Dubs was ever on a SNY yard, a Superman yard, a fucking yard full of fucking, I don't care. Because the person he is now, that shit doesn't bear upon how we get down, man, what we do. You know, we go live, we help the people, we help ourselves. We do what we do for our families and our friends. We're going to keep it pushing. The shit does not stop. I just think it's funny that all these trolls, they latch onto anything, any drama that they can find. You know, remember when P. Diddy was caught up? Everyone this, and that. Now, all of a sudden, he might be having some action. Now everyone's like, oh, I'm just saying though. Nah. Just keep on. No Diddy with that shit. Stop it, right? People talk a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, what do they accomplish? What are they doing other than creating animosity and disturbance and division and the bullshit? You know, we went from having a situation where myself, Dubs, we respected Chill. Chill respected us. And, you know, and that's another thing I wanted to touch on. You know, Chill saying, oh, I knew these guys were SNY. I've been knowing them. Why the fuck you call me or accept my phone call then? If you're really politicking, if you're really playing like that, then why would you do that, bro? You know, look, man, let me tell you guys a little story. Trip out on this. So I had a homeboy. Okay, I had a homeboy. And when you're in Norteño, you're not allowed, or back then, you weren't allowed to go to certain yards. They were deemed no good. For what reason? I don't know. There was yards like Pleasant Valley deemed no good. Jamestown deemed no good. Certain parts of Corcoran deemed no. They were deemed no good. They weren't even SNY yards. They just were considered soft yards, or just you couldn't go there. I didn't even understand the reasoning behind it. But anyways, one of my homeboys goes to Pleasant Valley. Good homeboy from my barrio, my neighborhood, right? And this is where it gets tricky. He goes, he gets there, he fucking stays there. Fuck it. He sees other Northerners there. Yeah, he didn't know that they were like non-conforming, functioning Northerners under the organization, but they were there. He stood. Anyways, he gets out. We know where he went in my neighborhood. We're not tripping because he ain't no punk, he ain't no coward. He's with the business. It's whatever, right? He's taking care of his family. He's doing his thing. He's not in the hood like that daily, but he comes around. No one's tripping. Well, two of my high-power ass homeboys from my neighborhood. I call them high power. Neither one of them are active still, but anymore, right? But they were fucking all in the politics, just got paroled from Tracy, whatever. These fuckers get out. They manipulate the homeboy. They see him at parties. They're there for like a year. He's out. Everyone's cool. Then one day they get faded high. They see him. They ask for a ride. They fucking boo bop him. They don't kill him, but they beat his ass and take his fucking cutlass. He had a cutlass on Dayton's. They take it with the beat and they leave. Well, his brother calls me. His brother's not a gang member, but he's fucking feared because his brother's a fucking beast. He calls me, hey, bro, what happened with my brother? Man, fuck them. I'll beat everyone's ass. This, you know, calm down, bro. You know, and me and my other homeboy active at the time. I was active at the time. We had to get at the two other active homies. Why'd you do this? Oh, he was a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. He stood on that yard. Bro, you've been knowing this shit for a long ass time. You ain't never did nothing. You got drunk and high and some liquid courage and all of a sudden, right? Come on, bro. Stop that shit. You know, bring that fucking car back before we beat your ass. The truth is this. There's not one gang member watching this right now that doesn't have a homeboy that's still his homeboy that's not in the greatest of standings. Okay, everyone has a different story. You automatically hear that Avalto is not active anymore in the mix and you automatically, oh, he's a debriefer, he's a PC, he's a punk, he's a sucker, he's a bitch. You would be very, very confused on some of the real ones. There's some dudes that look just like your fucking sconted out homeboy that's standing next to you, look even more vicious. And they were on SNY and this one wasn't. Okay? This one will tell on you before that one will. It's just fucking a trip, man. I'm not saying nothing, but I'm saying a whole lot. Read between the lines. Anyways, with that being said, man, I think this shit is getting old. People keep coming at Dubs and going at Dubs, and it's just fucked up. It's fucked up, and people, and I understand the whole thing, because people have gotten at me, and they've told me, if you would have just been truthful in the beginning, truthful about what? Where is the untruth? Did Dubs ever tell you he was an active gang member or not an active gang member? He's never given you a definitive answer. You can't be mad because you assume something that might or might not be true. No one really truly knows. Anyways, with that being said, man, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Shout out to Chill from 16 to Life. Shout out to Hoodie from the Hood. He dropped a good video. Shout out to Josh. He continues to drop good videos from Homie Hangout. Shout out to everyone out there that hates on my big ass chorra, but they all want to see it. The gun. Bang, bang.